Guys, make some noise for this dude, you guys. I met him on a rooftop in Cleveland, where I hope this isn't giving away too much about us. We smoked some marijuana there together. And he's out here in California now pursuing his dreams. And I said, come on down and do a few minutes on my show. Please give a big warm welcome to Ramon Rivas, everybody.
Thank you. Keep it going for Doug Benson, everybody. As he said, my name is Ramon Rivas. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I used to live out there with my sister because it was super duper free, which was a great arrangement for me. She has 3 kids, and I like most of them. The only one I have an issue with is my 13-year-old niece, Amarisa. She's just really mean to me. And I tried to be nice to her, so one day I was like, hey, Amarisa, what do you want to do today? We'll go to the mall, the movies, whatever you want to do, we're going to do. She looked right back at me like, all I want you to do is get away from me because you're fat and ugly. And I don't know how to break it to her that she looks just like me. It's like she better hope that mustache thins out a little bit. She's been a little nicer to me. Like, she recently asked if I'll come to her school and tell some jokes for Hobby Day. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You think my career is a hobby? Appreciate that. I had to talk to a bunch of 5th and 6th grade kids about comedy. I didn't really know what to do. My only goal going into it was to inspire at least one of them to not go to college, just save someone a little bit of money. So I was just like, hey guys, what's the funniest TV show or movie you've seen? And this one little 5th grader raised his hand. He was like, Three Stooges. I was like, oh, he must not have cable. This other little 6th grader raised his hand. He was like, my favorite movie is Pineapple Express, which is a weed movie. I was like, dude, that is awesome. But I don't think we could talk about that right now because I don't want to get your teacher fired because this is not a charter school. So we can't have that conversation. After his session, he came right up to me. He was like, you know the other movie's really funny, Mr. Rivas? Cheech and Chong. I was like, man, your parents sound cool. Or terrible. I got a couple of thank you letters from the kids. I'll read a couple. Dear Mr. Rivas, thank you for coming to our school and teaching us about how to be funny. I know that might have been a waste of your time, but I enjoyed it. That's a little kid that already knows how to read people's body language. Your time was valuable to us because we got to learn new things we never knew. Also, I got to get out of class and do something much better than learning. Sincerely, Anthony. Dear Mr. Ramon, thank you for coming into our school. You were very funny, and I hope you get fames. Which is super adorable, but now I'm like, is my niece getting a shitty education? Same class. Also, I think you can become fames like Kevin Hart. By the way, if I ever hear of that you have, I will see if I can go. Which is my favorite part, that this kid thinks I could become one of the biggest comics in the world. And if I do, they'll think about coming. They don't want to commit right now. They might have plans. The girl might not be in the comedy. You got to stay flexible. Dear Mr. Rivas, hi, my name is Olivia. You're really funny. I really like how you make jokes out of things that have previously happened to you. Which I'm glad that even children recognize I spit that real shit all the time. Like an episode of Vikes mixed with The Wire. Ever since you've been here, I've also been trying to make jokes out of things that have happened to me. Now, when I grow up, I want to be a comedian too. Crushed my goal. Thanks again. I can't wait to see you next year. Your friend, Olivia. I don't know how to break it to her that I'm not coming back. I just think it'd be weird if I showed up at the school like, hi, I'm here to see Olivia. No, I'm not related to her. She just really believes in me, and I need that right now. I turned 30 back in October, and so thank you. So far, I feel like 30's been my sexual MVP year, which might just be because I didn't start playing until I was 26, so the numbers are real skewed. I feel like I'm getting better at talking to women. They're not as good at talking back to me. Maybe I'm just talking to the wrong ones. Like I was talking in the middle of a conversation with this girl, and out of nowhere, she was just like, "Hey, I have a quick question. If you had to give me a rating from 1 to 10, what would it be?" And I was like, I have to go. I just had something way less crazy I remembered I had to do back at the crib. And she was like, "No, obviously I'm just kidding, but like seriously, if you had to give me a rating," I was like, "All right, I'll answer. Just understand in the city of Cleveland, I am a 4. Whenever I go to LA, I walk around as a -2. Because there's always a curve involved in every grade." I was like, with 10, being a celebrity supermodel, you are an 8.5. And she was like, "Oh, 8.5, huh? I was like, what's wrong?" She's like, "Oh, nothing, it's just, I was expecting a 15. I said, "Oh, well, maybe you should have asked me to rate you from 1 to 100. From where I'm standing, it's like, this chick don't even know how math works. That is not attractive. I took this other girl out. We went out for juice in the middle of the day because I'm a decent human being. I got a text from her a couple nights later at 1 o'clock in the morning that said, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm bored. Do you want to come over?" And you're thinking the same thing I was thinking. Damn, Ramon, you crushed that juice date. So I head over there, and I sit on the sofa, and then she sits way on the other side of the sofa, so now it feels like a weird job interview I didn't apply for. And then she's like, "Hey, do you know any emerging chefs?" She's like, "Because I really want to start a food truck, but I want to find a chef that wants to start a food truck so we could work together." In my head, I'm like, that's ridiculous. The chef wouldn't need you. But out loud, I was like, that's such a good idea. What kind of food do you cook? She's like, "Oh, I don't cook." I was like, you don't need to know how to cook for a food truck. What, do you already have a truck? She was like, "Mm-mm." And I didn't know how to break it to her that it sounds like she just wants to go eat at a food truck. So I try, after a couple more minutes of conversation, I try to put a little move on her. She's like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. It's just that I kind of wanted you to just come over and hang out so we can be friends and get to know each other. I'm not a makeout slut. Is that okay?" I was like, "Yeah, of course that's okay." I was like, "It's a weird phrase for a grown-up to use." I was like, "But I'm sorry. I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable. It's just that, I'm sorry for any expectations I had when I came over here tonight, but I'm not going to apologize for being attracted to a beautiful woman," which I felt was respectful of her and empowering my feminism all at the same time. And she was just like, "I just don't understand why ever since I moved to Cleveland, everyone I meet's just trying to have sex and no one's trying to build a friendship." I was like, "Oh, I think it might be because you're trying to build your friendships at 2 o'clock in the morning." She's like, "Well, maybe you should go." I was like, "All right, good luck with your food truck." And I went home. I put on Facebook, I said, "Dear ladies, please stop inviting me to your place at 1 a.m. for friendly chats. Keep that shit in the 1 p.m. range where it belongs. Hugs of disappointment, Ramon Rivas II." Because the way Facebook works, my mom was the first person to comment on it. My mom's comment was, "You tell them her loss." It's just a little weird to know that my mom has confidence in my D. The weird part was the girl who invited me over liked the status, and she texted me, and she was like, "Hey, I saw your Facebook status. I just want to let you know that you're creepy, and you ruined what could have been a good friendship." I was like, "I'm not creepy. You're super creepy with your 1 a.m. small business meeting." She didn't even have a PowerPoint presentation. It was very unprofessional. I'm in town for like another week. If you enjoy me, my name online on everything is Blazer Ramon because I wear a lot of sport coats. I like to, one time I started my own trending topic on Twitter called Joanne Fabric Slogans, which is like a crafting store you'll get yarn and burlap from. I'll do a couple before I got out here. The first one is Joanne Fabrics, where homeschool kids go on their field trips. Joanne Fabrics, make sure your daughter stays a virgin by making her prom dress yourself. I really like that joke, but the first time I tried to do it in front of an all-black audience, like nobody laughed. I didn't know why until after the show, this nice old black man come up to me. He was like, "Hey man, black people don't do crafting." I was like, that's way too racist to be true. So I went home and I was like, I'm not gonna do anything until I write some Joanne Fabric slogans that black people might think are funny. So after 2.5 weeks of intense marijuana smoking, I came up with 2. The first one is Joanne Fabrics, in case you need some beads for your braids. And then the only other one I could think of was Joanne Fabrics, if you want to airbrush a t-shirt when your little cousin dies. Destroyed the first time I did it. With the exception of one table of women got real upset to the point one of them stood up and was like, "Oh yeah? You think that's funny, huh? Well, how about when you die after tonight's show, we all put your name on a t-shirt?" I was like, sounds like everyone's about to go to Joanne Fabrics. All right, guys, my name is Ramon. Have a good night.